Hey, it's MK and I am back with another Baby Got Scraps layout, and today I pulled my inspiration from this sketch that was introduced by the Dusty Attic. It is a overseas company that I am in love with, you guys. It's right up my alley. Wish I could get my hands on it, but overseas shipping is horrible. Anyways, showing you guys a few of my supplies. I am using a recycled napkin or paper towel that I used to mop up some, I think it's like Brusho crystal stuff. Yeah, it makes a mess and I'm using it up. And then I've got these random bit of scraps. Some of it is paper rose. Some of it is My Mind's Eye. This red piece here is graphic 45. I have just random stuff, you guys, that I went with a color, and I had a hard time trying not to think of like a theme park when I was doing this layout. And when I came across these sunset photos, I just was like, oh my gosh, the colors are perfect. So I'm going to keep a portion of the white border that my photos already have on them. I print them with the white border on them. Excuse me. I am going to keep a portion of it, but not as much. And then I basically just cut my paper towel down to size, but a little bit bigger. And then I crinkled it up just to give it something, but I didn't want a full-blown yellow photo mat, if that makes any sense. All right. And then I was just checking to make sure that my burst paper was actually 4 inches wide. Before I went ahead and cut it, because I did want it cut in half where the burst was right in the center, so I could flank both sides of this gorgeous red paper. I couldn't believe, for one, how easy this layout came together, but for two, how much I struggled with the simplicity of this layout. I'm not really sure why, and maybe it's because my brain is trying to make it not so simplistic. I'm not sure. But I did go into my stash and I pulled out like an aqua teal something, like tone-on-tone polka dot washi tape. I wanted something really super thin to define the border between the burst and the red paper, but also too, I didn't want it to say, hey, we are here. I kind of wanted it to blend in, but be a solid line. I'm not sure, you guys. I make stuff up all the time. I also crinkled up my paper towel before putting it behind. I just put one small little strip of tear and tape behind the photo right in the center, and then attached it because I want the photo, I want the crinkle. The reason why I scrunched it all up is because I want that to kind of lift the photo off and give it dimension. I knew this layout was going to be plain Jane and uber super simple. And so I kind of wanted to give it something, just instead of just, you know, strategically placed papers, if that makes any sense. So this is just a drive that we were driving home actually from a vacation, and the sunset was just absolutely gorgeous. I couldn't pass it up. So I snapped it. I am in the passenger seat in case anybody is curious. My husband does not like when other people drive, so he is always the one driving when we go on vacations, unless I'm by myself. Then I have to drive. Yep. So that is where these photos were. It was also the summer where we had some fires, but not a lot. And the fires do make it to where the sunsets are a little bit more redder than they usually are. So we usually get pink sunsets in our area. Excuse me, you guys. Mr. Frog is just, he's here. Anyways, we usually get pink sunsets. And so when I get to see the red sunsets, it's just gorgeous in a way. I know what causes them, and that's very sad, but the photo opportunity is beautiful. I'm sorry. I try to make, you know, I try to make lemonade out of lemons, honestly. It's in my nature. So I did get interrupted quite a bit during this layout. So my hands just like stop because I'm visiting with one of my children, and so it is kind of choppy here in some spots of the video. I apologize about that, but the center photo I decided to pop up using some really super weird foam tape that I picked up at a gas station because I went on a trip, and I always scrapbook in the car to keep my husband company while he is driving. If I'm not busy doing things, then I just fall asleep. So I told him if I got to take scrapbooking with me, that I could stay awake. And he called my bluff and said, there's no way. Well, he let me try it one day or one trip, and was impressed that I stayed awake the entire drive time because I was busy. I got to do things, right? So anyways, I've been taking scrapbooking with me on the road ever since. And I use one of the Tim Holtz glass mats because it's perfect between the little ledge on the door all the way over to the center console. It lays perfectly across that in one of our vehicles. The other vehicle, it doesn't. But it's perfect working surface. And when you're traveling, I absolutely love it, you guys. Anyways, I forgot where I was going with that, by the way. So, yeah, I totally forgot where I was headed with that. Anyways, pulled out these two thicker packs. One of them, the blue one, is called Sparkle. It is from a Chamel line, or a matching font for a Chamel line, I should say. And then the gold ones are called Little Wonders. I also took that tag, which wasn't going to be a tag at first, but part of it was already, and I'm talking about the tag in the upper left because I was babbling and forgot to tell you guys. But the shape of it was already kind of a half tag. So I kind of just cleaned up one of the rough cut edges, folded it in half, and finished making it into a tag. And then I took a hole punch. Well, I'm not very good at making tags, so my hole punch is a little too close to the top. And then I just reinforced the hole with a Heidi Swapp hole reinforcer. Yeah. Then I decided that my layout still needed a little bit more, I don't want to say dimension, but maybe texture or dimension is a good word. And so I had this twine left over from another project that was just sitting on my desk. And I thought, you know what? Matches beautifully. It's off-white, just like, the burst paper. So perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and glue one side down, and then I got interrupted about 6 other times, so you don't get to see me glue the other side down. I apologize about that. I went ahead and I used a label punch by Stampin' Up. It's a two like a double option label punch, so you get to pick one that's a little bit more fancier than the other. I absolutely love those, by the way. And just went ahead and punched out that border strip, or it's a little strip from Cocoa Vanilla. It's just that gorgeous rainbow paper. And this one happened to match this layout perfectly, you guys. The reds in this layout, reds are hard to match. And so this one was amazingly perfect. I just couldn't believe it. So anyways, I debated about using these stars on this layout because I was like, nah, it's a sunset. And the stars you really can't see just yet. But after a while, I thought, you know what? The stars are going to be absolutely perfect. Here's my OCD at its finest right there. Trying to move the twine out of the way. Heaven forbid I use both hands. And then here's my OCD again on whether or not it should be on the brown or the red. Oh my gosh, you guys. And then I'm going to take some splatter because it's, again, one of those things that I felt like it was missing something. But first, I'm going to take this roller date stamp and stamp the day that I took this photo. Thank goodness our phones nowadays actually keep track of that for us, because I thought that this was in June and it was really in September. Yay, go me. The first splatter that I put down was a Heidi Swapp iridescent, and all it did was leave a little bit of glimmer down. And in fact, I had to lean over it to make sure that it did something, and it did. But the next one that I added was an iced spruce by Tim Holtz. It's the oxide spray, and one of my favorites because it matched that wood grain gray beautifully. I just love how it blended in with the rest of the layout. And I didn't go too far with the splatters, but that is it. There is the layout, the sketch that I used, and yeah, be sure to check out everyone else that is playing along with Kristen's Baby Got Scraps, because this is not my idea, you guys. She started this last year and came up with this idea, and I just fell in love with it. Give Kristen all the love, because this is her brainchild, and I am so grateful for it, and will probably join her every year until she decides not to do it anymore. So again, thank you, and I will check y'all later. Bye.